bow, 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 bow.
What is the most important thing in a woman? I'm going to guess for him, he's going to say brains.
What is the most important thing in a woman?
What's the most important thing in a woman? There's really only one answer. My dick.
Melanie's message was deleted.
We've never talked on the phone. We exchanged some Instagram messages one time. She wanted to correct me on some legal point.
I'm not seeing it.
Oh, it was a bankruptcy thing. That was right. That was what it was.
I don't know.
Made a comment.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But
I made a comment that
I don't know.
Her if it went bad. And Katie Joy Paulson thought it important to let me know that she didn't think that would happen.
Yeah, because he's talking about Katie Joy and Tati. It is what it is. But I know my folks will. If you scroll up, it shows the comment has been deleted. Wow. Oh, I see it. Stand by, folks. I see it. Dang, they really did do that. Look, right there, right here. If you guys can see Melanie right here, right there, deleted. Wow. Wow. I wonder if his mods did it or if it was him.
As I pointed out, and I'll make a point of noting, at least at the moment, she's well on her way to losing her 7M lawsuit. I don't shade my analysis based on the people that are involved. I don't.
Wow. Well, with that said, like I said, I'm not going to have the drama ensue even more. However, like I said, I haven't gotten no response, which I think is very telling. And yeah, I mean, he has my number too. He could easily call or text me. I'm not going to reach out because I'm not going to keep sending emails. You know, I'm not going to try to hound him because, you know, yeah, I think that would just be weird. For those, again, that don't know, what happened was I responded to a video that was put together on Kurt and his dating life or whatever. And I did my own serious comments and I reacted to his. And then I emailed him and said, hey, I responded to a funny dating video. We should do a stream together and make it fun. And then less than 12 hours later, the creator of that video received a copyright strike. So I felt somewhat partially responsible for that because had he not known, and mind you, the video is over a year old again. So had he not known he wouldn't have known anything had I not emailed him, which is why I made a statement because again, I felt somewhat responsible. I have yet to hear anything back. So it is what it is. And if he's going to hide from it, well then there you go. See him bitch about how he didn't have 100K, but everybody else did. And let's be real here. You know, we have about the same amount of people in our chats right now, except his keep going out and in. To have 300 people with an audience of 101K just shows that they're not really audiences that like to really watch your content all the time. I don't know. That's just me. And the fact that he's really mean to the people in his chat. But, and again, I don't want to hate, but if you're not going to respond and you're going to be an ass to everybody, but you're not going to turn around and like engage with an email that I sent that was very positive. Like I said, I showed the email in my last stream and said, hey, like, this is what I said. This is why I think, this is why I want to say something. I feel like I tipped him off. And I just think I think it's so petty. And absolutely he does. Absolutely he does. And you know what, Snapshot? Honestly, you probably should go to Nick Rekeita for this one. I think it would actually be hilarious. He wants to be so much like Nick Rekeita. Have him deal with it. I would laugh my ass off. Yeah. So yeah, but, and again, I'm not saying unsub from him. If you like him, great. I have no problem with him, even still, I really don't personally. I don't, but I think it's just really petty to go take down a smaller channel creator. I email Kurt and I'm going to show you exactly what I emailed him because I do somewhat feel partially responsible and I'll show you why. So this is what I messaged him Saturday. This was the email that was sent. Then all of a sudden, there is a copyright strike on Snapshot's video, the original creator of the Kurt Datamax video. Okay. Send that off. Later that evening, there's a copyright strike on Snapshot's original video of it. So part of me feels like he had never known, had I never emailed him about it, none of this would have ever been known, watched, what have you. So I feel partially responsible in a way. And I'm sorry, Snapshot, that if this is the result of it, I just find this really unbelievable, especially from somebody who is an attorney. Kurt, you know how copyright works.
You're allowed to say mean things about people.
You cannot go and abuse copyright because somebody made a video either poking fun, making fun, or putting hilarious content together at your expense. It's going to happen.
Often we would go forward to the next step of discovery. But when we're talking about free speech and we're talking about people exercising free speech when it relates to opinion and fee-fees, right? When we're talking about people's fee-fees being hurt, we're concerned about that because discovery is so expensive. That's what we're concerned about. We're concerned about people using copyright law as a muzzle to freedom of speech. Oh, Reddit replies recording my stream and uploading clips? Well, that kind of sucks.
I have not seen the video. I frankly, it doesn't matter to me. We'll talk about this in a minute. Why it doesn't matter. They've done a parody dating video, or somebody did. It's been uploaded, and it was about Uncivil Law. Now, Uncivil Law has made a copyright claim on that video. I think it's old. But because I think it's been around for a long time, but it came back or something, it resurfaced or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. So he has copyright struck the video. So there's a copyright takedown, and then there's applying a strike is a step further that goes on. If you get 3 copyright strikes within a certain amount of time, your YouTube channel gets deleted. Copyright strikes typically do not prevent you from uploading a community guideline strike. If you receive a strike while live streaming, you may be prevented from live streaming for 7 days. That's what the rule says, but that's never happened to me, so I don't know how that works. All my copyright claims and strikes have come after the fact. So you get a strike on the channel that sits there, then you have to either appeal it and get rid of it, or it will remain for a while. And then if you get 3 within that time window, your channel will be removed from YouTube. So with that, that is something that has happened. Now, before we go too far into this, let me just reiterate what I said at the beginning. Kurt is a friend of mine, and I have no desire to sit and blast him. I know many people in the chat and in other chats are blasting Kurt, and that is absolutely within your prerogative, within your right. Do what you do, form the opinion that you have. But people have been asking mine, so I'm here to get it. And I'm not here to blast Kurt. What I will do is say this. I think that his actions on this issue are completely incorrect. And I say that as a friend. Whatever the motivation for using the copyright system to take down video, I am obviously and vocally opposed to that in every circumstance where it happens. So that doesn't change just because Kurt happens to be my friend.
You're allowed to say mean things about people. Opinion, even about another person, is totally legal. You can think someone is great, and you can think they're a jerk. And either way, it's legal for you to say so. In fact, here's an opinion for you. I think Murray is filing this lawsuit because his ego is so fragile, and he is so thin-skinned that he uses lawsuits as an adult's temper tantrum.
And that you can't police everybody.
And here's the thing, and then it becomes this thing like the next time I have him on my channel, it's oh, now you're supporting that time he did that. I'm I'm not supporting that. Is he someone who I consider a friend? Yeah. Do I disagree with what he did? Yeah. Does that mean that I'm going to change the nature of my relationship with because he did something that I disagree with? No. Do I disagree with what he did? Okay. Yeah, I do. I told him the last time he's doing the copyright strike that I personally would never copyright strike. But what I'm saying is to put me in that sort of spot where now I have to make a public declaration in front of my entire audience. I was like, what did I do to you that you're putting me in this position? I wasn't upset with you, Divinity. I really wasn't. It wasn't clear what anyone was expecting me to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
totally.
It's am I supposed to yell at him? Am I supposed to talk to him on the scenes? Am I supposed to ban him from my channel? I don't know what people want me to do about it.
Importantly, as independent creators, I would counsel against it even if it were justified. And my understanding in this case is I do not think that the strikes are justified. I don't believe they're justified legally. With that said, even if they were fully legally justified, I think as independent creators, one, it's free advertising. I really don't think it benefits us to take down stuff that has our names on it and stuff like that. Just in general, I have found that being extremely permissive with allowing people to use my content has benefited me and my channel more than it benefits any individual person who may be stealing my content. That's my personal experience with this. And so when people ask me about copyright, I almost always counsel them away from copyright claims. One, the other reason is copyright claims are extremely easy to fight on YouTube. You just put in the counter notification and they go away. And the person could sue you, but they already could. So I don't think it's that valuable of an endeavor, especially when our our individual names and brands are built on who we are and how we act. I just think it's not good form to do so.
But I think in this particular case, there's so many different moving parts, and it's making a mountain out of a molehill. And unfortunately, strikes really, really affects people's channels in a negative way. Because 3 strikes, you lose your channel, you know. And
Exactly.
again, like I kept saying, and so everybody understands copyright ID. I would be more inclined with, and copyright ID means we'll take the advertising money. We'll run ads and take the ad money if it's something like that. That's okay because it's not a strike or anything like that.
Yeah.
If you use a lot of that stuff, okay, you know, there's that. But a strike means take it down, and if you don't, I'm going to sue you. It's like that veiled threat. Maybe the person wants to do content ID, but doing strike. I don't know. I definitely have to speak to him. But like I said before, we did have a conversation about this video. We did, you know, there was just wasn't a negative light. You know, the person wasn't uncomfortable with it, and you know, the advice was, so what, right? It's funny, it's satire. People think you think this is a comedic thing, right? Which I think it's fair if you just look at it. But at this point in time, especially now, because we all know, you know, this is sometimes when you get bigger, you want to protect your brand, but this is just not the way to do it. So again, like I said, I have a conversation with them. I'll come back and let you guys know. But I think Kurt, to be fair, Kurt is very reasonable, very analytical, and I think I'm assuming that behind the keyboard, you're like, all right, I don't want people to see this, so I'll strike it. Versus having like, hey, this is affecting real people. This may not be the way to go. Why not do a different tactic? And I think that reasonableness in Kurt will come out. But I do want to say, I'm very sorry this is happening to you. I'm not apologizing for him or anything he's doing, but you know, but that's just not. It's sad because that's honestly not the person he is, and I don't know where the disconnect is because you know, it's weird. It's like the person I know. All right, I'll say it this way: if someone told me Kurt was doing this, and I didn't have the proof, I wouldn't believe it. I'd be like, nah, this is
right.
No, it's that type of thing. But then hearing from what you guys were saying and then seeing it for myself, it's just like there's obviously something wrong, and there's something, and maybe it's just that communication piece, right? I don't want to communicate with these people, but I think if you want to have a YouTube community, if you want to be successful in here, you need to take a different tactic, and you do more with honey than vinegar. But I do want to recognize though the outrage because and personally I will say this: I do think these strikes are incorrect. I want and I would be dishonest in not at least acknowledging that, and I think you guys are right to be outraged. But now I think there should be some correction to this.
But I want to offer a couple ideas, and you know, I ultimately don't know the end, the answers to any of this stuff. But I want to offer a couple of ideas of explanation, and I'm offering them as part just experiential education for the chat, and as part hopeful, you know, message for anybody else who may be listening that's a creator. Okay, if you have not been noticed specifically on the internet, you may never have experienced what it's like to have a group of people dedicatedly hating you. And sometimes, like when those attacks come for the, you know, first time, even it's not always the first one, but sometimes they come with a particular intensity. It's surprising. It'll catch you off guard. It's weird. You like know up here, yeah, there's some people who hate you, but the amount of effort that can be expended on you is something that you haven't a lot of times experienced in your life, and you don't really get, like, it doesn't process. For me, this really came heavily during a couple times, but I was kind of numb to it by then, but the Vic Mignogna thing, when I pissed off like 1,000 lawyers on Twitter. I don't know, it's actually like 6, but they weigh as much as 1,000. TC says, don't make excuses for him, Nick. TC, fuck you. I'll talk however I want to talk, but this isn't an excuse. Again, this is an explanation of what might be going through someone's head, and also counseling to the people who are in this situation, which is what will follow. So just chill and let me talk. So anyway, all of these lawyers on Twitter, ruthlessly and relentlessly shitting on me for a long time. And most of the stuff they were saying was not what I had done or said. They were blaming me for all sorts of various stuff, accusing me of felonies, accusing me of beating my children, of beating my wife, like just way out of left field. And I'll tell you, like, and I'm a cynical piece of shit and have been forever, and probably a narcissist. We'll get Dr. Curry, if you need, diagnose me, girl. Diagnose me hard. We'll figure out what's wrong with me at some point. But like, almost nothing phases me. But I got to tell you, when you have a bunch of people accusing you of really heinous, horrific shit, or coming after your professional integrity over and over and over again, and most importantly, misrepresenting you to do it, to try and destroy you, like to try and harm my channel, to try and harm my reputation. And I will candidly say, I believe that they were actually very successful in doing so. Now I think I've pretty much repaired it, and I still owe some fucking gloating to you, DM Schreier, you dumb motherfucker, you fat piece of shit, you ugly, stupid piece of garbage. I'm gonna gloat so hard on your fucking ass for being so goddamn wrong about that Johnny Depp ACLU thing. I'm gonna fist you with gloating, you piece of shit, and the worst part is you'll like it. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Fucking idiots. But these people lied over and over and over about things I said. They would clip something out of context, or they would completely just make up stuff that I said. And they would post it on Twitter, and it got posted pretty far and wide. And a bunch of people who should have been my colleagues were blaming me for shit I didn't do. And then at the same time, these people are accusing me of felony criminal offenses, accusing me of gross professional misconduct, shit that, if true, would have my bar license removed immediately and forever, and put me in prison and directly harm my family. It can be jarring to have that type of campaign spring up against you. I'm not saying what happened to Kurt is in any way comparable, because I don't know the extent of what's been going on to Kurt specifically. I don't know what got him to the place he's at. All right. But I'm just saying, when something like this happens, if you haven't experienced it and you haven't experienced the level of consistency and persistence that people have, it can be very jarring. And you're tempted to try and do something about it. That's your first thought a lot of times, is defend yourself. Defend who you are. I'm not that, blah, 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 blah. And the defense oftentimes is unhelpful. And so now we're going to transition away from this is to people who haven't experienced it, to this is to people who either have experienced it or will experience it at some point in the future. Defending yourself from most things like this is not ever worth it. Because if what they're accusing you of isn't real, then there's no purpose in fighting back against it. Now, at some point, a false accusation that begets some sort of action, right? Johnny Depp, Vic Mignogna, stuff like that. You know, someone gets falsely accused of something, it really, like, it gets them in trouble in some way. Of course, you have to do something at some point. But almost none of this will get there. In fact, reacting often fans the flames and keeps and pushes it into the Streisand effect, basically. It draws attention to the issue. It adds to the drama. It prolongs the drama, and it feeds the people who are feeding it as well. It is coal being added to a fire.
At the core of why I'm doing this, because it's gotten way fucking out of hand, and a lot of other people have kind of passed on commenting on it, but it's bigger than just one dude. This is a massive issue. So let me show you why this is important for us to stick up for people that are getting strikes, that are getting copyright claims, because throughout the history that I've been on YouTube, and remember, I was a small fucking creator. I was nothing before, really, my channel was honestly dog shit before the Rittenhouse case. So I am ever so grateful to the people that brought me on, that brought me into this, that let me on their stream. So I remember that, and I don't forget that. When you look at what's been going on since Rittenhouse, we've been having people submitting community guideline strikes and copyright strikes. Those have been some of the largest issues that we've had in Lawtube, that YouTube lawyers have had. And frankly, not just lawyers, but all content creators, even small content creators that aren't lawyers. They've been having problems with this. The internet is about the free flow of information. The internet was born to get information out there. Generally, if you're a copyright strike or even a community guideline strike, frankly, is kind of some bitch-made shit. That's just what it is. And YouTube is no different from anything else. It's no different from a story, a movie, any other media. There's a reason why we don't like the mainstream media fucking swinging their dick around and crushing small creators. I'm sorry, if you have 100K subs, and I'm using Uncivil's numbers, about 100K subs, if you're going against somebody who's a 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K subs, if you're 10X somebody, that's kind of my rule. If you're 10X or more, their subscribers, yeah, you're kind of Goliath. You're not David in this fight. By the way, it's a stupid move. Read the 48 Laws of Power if you haven't. When you show on the internet that you are bothered by something, you better fucking believe that people are going to come at you harder with it, that it's not going to stop. But when you lean into it, when you agree and amplify, you just fucking laugh at it, or you ignore it, it's going to go away. So your choices are, you can ignore it, or you can fucking, or you can fucking laugh at it, right? So when I say, what is a copyright cut?
My personal opinion on this is very straightforward. I think what Kurt did is a huge misstep. I think striking anything, doing a copyright claim on these things, especially a parody video, is not the right way to do it. And I think that it would be in everyone's best interest to remove those strikes. Now, I don't know if there's anything going on behind the scenes. I don't know the status of anything. That's just my opinion on things. I think that's the right course of action. At the same time, let me say this final piece. This drama is real fucking gay. And it's boring. So, copyright claims are not all that fun. So let's hope that this thing gets resolved, because what a fucking waste of time all of this is, and all of that waste is just, it could be put to making something funny instead. So Killer King says Nick supports breaking the law. Which law do I support breaking? It's just not. It's not. I just think we're independent creators, and how we act is our brand. Now, that's not saying that there's a right and wrong way to do things, but I think people lose sight of that we are who we are. And as for me, it's not my practice to engage in this activity, because it doesn't work, and it doesn't help. And also, on my understanding of the video, probably fair use. But that being said, I hope this thing gets resolved and people can put water under the bridge or whatever everybody's going to do. So that's it. Wait, it's not gay. He needs to apologize. It is gay whether or not he needs to apologize. That's two different things. I also am a firm proponent of never apologize. So that's kind of a conflict there. But he'll do what he does, right? And the interesting thing about YouTube is you have the power to vote pretty clearly and pretty simply on what you approve of and disapprove of. And people vote on me and tell me all the time what they disapprove of, and I tell them to fucking leave. So, but yeah. So there you go. Don't do what Kurt did. And Kurt, buddy, as a friend, you should fix it. You really should. You should fix it pretty much immediately. So, non-excommunicate him, or now excommunicate him. Well, yeah, of course, I've kicked him out of. Oh, yeah, Kurt, you're kicked out of Lawtube. That's as a matter of course. You're kicked out of Lawtube. Wait, no. Hold on. He is not kicked out of YouTube or Lawtube. Kurt, you are officially a member of Lawtube now. You got to fix it. You got to fix it to get out of Lawtube. You are in Lawtube now. There you go.
That's
I
it.
understand that. You can't police everybody. You
And
can't.
here's the thing, and then it becomes this thing. Like the next time I have him on my channel, it's like, oh, now you're supporting that time he did that. I'm like, I'm not supporting that. Is he someone who I consider a friend? Yeah. Do I disagree with what he did? Yeah. Does that mean that I'm going to change the nature of my relationship because he did something that I disagree with? No. Do I disagree with what he did? Okay, yeah, I do. I told him the last time he's doing the copyright strike that I personally would never copyright strike. But what I'm saying is to put me in that sort of spot where now I have to make a public declaration in front of my entire audience. I was like, what did I do to you that you're putting me in this position?